I did not say that. Yeah, my bad. First apology I gave you. All right. All right. So I know I told you, Nahum. I lied. Zephaniah. That's what we're looking at today, Zephaniah. If you have your Bibles, go ahead and go to Zephaniah. If I fall to the ground and pass out, leave me there. I want to rest. All right? That's what my body is saying to you. So just leave me there. We had a great weekend. Last couple of days, a bunch of us were there. I don't remember all. I'm not going to go through all the names. But there is. We built a building, a church building, a bolt-together metal building in Anton Chico, and it took us 2 days. And I realized why I like office jobs and why I'm in an office every day. We were out in the sun, that first day, over 12 hours. Oh, like sun up to sun down. You ever worked with Jerry Lawless before? Because if you're not moving, you ain't working. And so it was rough. It was rough. It was fun though. Is Ryan in here? Ryan Cox?
He is. He's barely here. Somewhere.
He's almost. Have you ever watched someone in their element of what they do for a living? You understand what I'm saying? It could be anything. It could be any kind of assortment. Whatever that job is, you're kind of like, wow, they are really good at, you fill in that blank. If Ryan wasn't there, that job would not get done. Of course, he works with metal buildings and such, but he was doing all the work, never really took breaks. We all took breaks, all stood in the shade. We all went. And then once in a while, he would go. We would force him a couple of times, you got to take a break. But everyone had a question because no one knew what they were doing. We're all gophers. And so we had to keep asking Ryan, what do we do? What are we doing? He's just going all over the job site and super, super impressed with him and his abilities. But it was a great, great couple of days. All right. What did we talk about last week? Do you remember? Which one? Which prophet? It is a test, yes. It was not. It was, yeah. So Micah was, before this, Hosea and everyone, they've been going to the north. Micah was southern kingdom. Again, Zephaniah is going to be southern kingdom as well. After Hezekiah, I'm going to just do a little bit of history because we got to do some history before we get into Zephaniah. Hezekiah was a really good king. If you remember, we went back and we talked about how he came into power as a king. He tore down all the high places. He got the priests back. They sanctified themselves, made everything right. Temple worship happened again. A lot of the things that they had forgotten to do, they went back to them. And Hezekiah was one of the better kings that you're going to find in the southern kingdom. And just for curiosity, how many really good kings in the southern kingdom after Solomon? How many? There's really two. That's it. Only two kings that are good, trying to do what God says from the very beginning to the very end. We're going to look at one king today, very briefly, as we go through this history, which is Manasseh, that he tries to come back, but we're going to see something. So Hezekiah is one of these great kings. He changes everything and tries to bring the people back. His son, Manasseh, and he's going to reign for like 55 years. And, that's my brother. Thank you, Ryan. Find a spot. So Hezekiah is going to reign for 55 years, one of the longest reigning kings in Jerusalem. But he does the exact opposite of what his father did. So he brings back all of the idol worship. He brings back the high places. It's Baal. It's Molech. What's one thing you know about worshiping Molech? What's the weird thing they do? Crazy. What is it? Child sacrifice is a part of this, right? That's why when we read Micah, he talked about, are you going to offer your children? Like this is not what God wants. And so that's a part of that. And you're going to find people, God's people doing those things. And so he's going to be pulling himself away. He rebuilds everything. 2 Kings chapter 21 and verse 3 just tells us that. He worships the stars, the heavens. They built pagan altars inside the temple. And all of these things are going on. Good morning. They practice child sacrifice, sorcery, witchcraft, consulted mediums. That's 2 Kings chapter 21 and verse 6. And so they shed much blood, innocent blood, verse 16 of 2 Kings chapter 21. And they ignored all this time. They ignored all of what the prophets were trying to teach them and to tell them. And so there's going to be divine judgment against them. God's going to declare that through the prophets, he's going to bring disaster to Jerusalem, Judea, because of Manasseh's sin. So really, everything that you're going to talk about, and when we think about what the people have done, is coming back to Manasseh. Not coming all the way back, but Manasseh is just absolutely horrible. And one of the biggest problems is his reign is so long, it really, 10 decades. That's a long time. So you can establish I'm going to sneeze, a lot of things. You don't want me to sneeze in the microphone. He can establish a lot in this multiple generations. And that's going to be one of the biggest problems, okay? So what's going to happen with Manasseh? He's going to become like a puppet king to Assyria. He's following the Assyrian, even their religious practices, and he knows that, hey, I've seen what happened in the north. They've taken over everything, Israel, Samaria. If I'm good and I'm, kind of bowing down to them in Assyria, they'll leave us alone. But what happens, he's going to be taken off to Babylon when Assyria actually is holding on to Babylon. 2 Chronicles chapter 33, verse 11 tells us he's going to be taken, captured in chains, put a ring through his nose, and he was taken off to Babylon. But while in Babylon, he's going to humble himself, and he's going to ask God for forgiveness, and God listens. And he actually brings him back to Jerusalem. Okay, he returns to Jerusalem. Now, this is when Manasseh kind of changes his life a little bit. He tries to remove the foreign gods from the altars and from the temple. He repairs the altar of the Lord. He commanded Judah to serve God, to sacrifice to God, to start doing the things they're supposed to be doing. But he leaves one thing. What do you think he leaves? The high places. It's just, you got to always understand. They always go up to sacrifice. They always go up to the mountain. Okay, it's always been like that all the way through the Old Testament. So he leaves the high places. So what's the problem? You tell me what the problem is.
People are just worshiping however they want to.
Okay, they're worshiping how they wanted to.
Putting something before God. A God before God. Different God.
Yeah, small g, God, before capital G, God. Yeah. What? Come on, it's what we do, right? You put your foot in both places. Do what you want. I'll worship God. I'm going to serve God. I'll sacrifice to God. I'll think about God. But I also got this other God that I like, that I want to pursue, that I want, that I desire, that fulfills me in some ways. Right? And they're trying to do these two things, and it's not working out at all. Okay? So death of Manasseh, he dies, he buried. Amon comes in, very short period. We're going to leave him alone. And then who comes into power after that? Josiah. And he's actually our really good king that comes into play after that. Okay? I am way ahead of my notes, so just give me a second to find out where I am. Okay? So, Zephaniah is during Josiah's reign. And some of the things that he's going to write, some people will say it's before the reforms or after the reforms, leaning more towards after the reforms. I'll show you why in just a second. But Zephaniah comes into play here. Tell me something about Zephaniah. Just read the first two verses and you tell me something about Zephaniah. Zephaniah chapter 1, verse 1.
The word of the Lord that came to Zephaniah, son of Cushai, the son of Gedaliah, the son of Amariah, and the son of Hezekiah, during the reign of Josiah, son of Amon, king of Judah.
Ooh, that was really great. A lot of names we can't really pronounce. So who cares?
It's a royal lineage.
It's royal lineage. So what's the difference? What can Zephaniah do that Hosea didn't do, that Micah didn't do, that Amos couldn't do? Where are they all from? You know two of them. What do they do for a real living? Huh? I'm so glad I asked. What do they do for a living? They're up in the hills and they're taking care of what? Okay, so they're shepherds. So God was using shepherds at a time to bring them out of the mountains, literally, and said, I want you to go preach to my people. Now Zephaniah is a little different. Now we got lineage, and that's what he's trying to establish here. That's why he goes back, not just one father. Because normally, don't you see that? A name and then a father? You know who to link it to? But he goes back how many generations? I don't know. I didn't count. How many, really? 4 generations. I'm going back to not just anybody, but I'm going to go back to Hezekiah, extremely good king, but I'm linking that. So Josiah comes into power. How old is Josiah? About 8 or 9. And he reforms. Who's in Jerusalem to help him out? Who has access because of his lineage, because he's of royal blood, that can go into the palace and talk to a king? Zephaniah. They say he probably lives in Jerusalem, that he's right there. Because of his lineage, because of who he is, he's able to probably go into the palace, and he has access to an incredible opportunity to change a whole people of God. And Josiah at 9 does some incredible things. He goes in and he tries to level everything, all the old and all the evil, and he pushes it out and reestablishes God. And so I really, a lot of times I wonder, who is this? It could have been his mother who had a great influence on him as well. I can believe that 100%. But I think it's also people like this, like Zephaniah, who have access to him and be able to talk to him and be with him and say, hey, this isn't working and this is not what God says. Who's also tutoring him? Josiah, not Zephaniah. Who's tutoring Josiah? Well, you can have people who are wise and be tutoring them in different areas, but you also have a prophet. That's a lot of great opportunity, right? What does that tell you by teaching the next generation? You're the one I'm going to miss the most. I'm going to miss you, Betty. Hey, I got a book for you. Remind me to give it to you. It has your name on it. To do it. Anything else? What else does it teach you about the next generation? Listen, I know I'm tired. I know what I did for the last 2 days. But come on, wake up.
Correct me if I'm wrong here.
You're wrong.
His father, Josiah's father and grandfather were not in favor of keeping the law of worshiping Yahweh.
Mm-hmm.
That changed when Josiah became king.
Yep.
You don't think Zephaniah had a hand in kind of pushing that wisdom along and pushing him how to do that?
100%.
He did not get that encouragement and that wisdom from his physical, biological lineage.
No, I believe it.
Not all of them.
No, yeah. I would agree with that 100%. I think Zephaniah plays a huge role. And, now, some of this is circumstantial, right? I don't have the facts in front of me. I don't know how many times he visits the palace. We don't have that. I'm just looking at the facts and trying to look at what's going on. You have a 9-year-old who changes a country back to God. I think Zephaniah is going to play a huge role. I think Jeremiah, who is also a counterpart at this time, is going to play a huge role in this as well. There are some very powerful and wonderful men that are there trying to guide him through this. Okay. Is it important that we teach the next generation? How important?
Well, I think this shows it's not just important that you teach your own children, but you can find those kids that maybe aren't in the best situation and teach them too, because your influence can spread more than just through your own lineage.
Yeah. Good. Good.
It also seems more important now because everything in the world is kind of going the opposite way.
We can kind of see it in our day and age. It'd be interesting. Back in the 60s, I bet they would say the same thing, right? Like, what are you people doing, right? I think almost every generation can kind of see we're not lining up with what God wants, right? And we can see that we can pull away. What I want you to see, you can be a Zephaniah or you can be a Manasseh. You can teach enough to have one foot with God and one foot where you want to go. We can teach God guides you or you guide God. We talked about that last week. Remember who said that? I don't know who it was. Okay, now I don't know. We want God to tag along with our dreams and our hopes. Hey, God, this is what I want. Bless it. Instead of saying, hey, God, you bless. I will be blessed by you because you are guiding me. See the difference? And so which way are we doing this? Okay? It's good stuff. The next generation it's so important that we have an influence. All right, let's get into our text. We're going to read the whole chapter 1. I'd like to have somebody read who has a very illustrious, boastful voice, verses 2 through 9. And then someone else, 10 through, 16. And then, yeah, that's good. And then 17, well, okay, let's 10 through 13, then 14 through 18. So the first one, 2 through 9. Somebody read that for me.
I will completely remove all things from the face of the earth, declares the Lord. I will remove human and animal life. I will remove the birds of the sky and the fish of the sea and the ruins along with the wicked. And I will eliminate mankind from the face of the earth, declares the Lord. So I will stretch out my hand against Judah and against all the inhabitants of Jerusalem. And I will eliminate the remnant of Baal from this place, and the names of the idolatrous priests along with the other priests, and those who bow down on the housetops to the heavenly lights, and those who bow down and swear to the Lord, but also swear by Milcom, and those who have turned back from following the Lord, and those who have not sought the Lord nor inquired of him. Be silent before the Lord God, for the day of the Lord is near, because the Lord has prepared a sacrifice. He has consecrated his guests. Then it will come about on the day of the Lord's sacrifice that I will punish the princes, the king's sons, and all those who clothe themselves with foreign garments. And on that day I will punish all who leap on the temple threshold, who fill the house of their Lord with violence and deceit.
From that day, declares the Lord, a cry will go up from the fish gate, wailing from the new quarter, and a loud crash from the hills. Wail, you who live in the market district. All your merchants will be wiped out. All who trade with silver will be ruined. At that time I will At that time I will search Jerusalem with lamps and punish those who are complacent, who are like wine left on its dregs, who think the Lord will do nothing, either good or bad. Their wealth will be plundered, their houses demolished. They will build houses but not live in them. They will plant vineyards but not drink the wine.
The great day of the Lord is near and rapidly approaching. Listen, the day of the Lord. Then the warrior's cry is bitter. That day is the day of wrath, a day of trouble and distress, a day of destruction and desolation, a day of darkness and gloom, a day of clouds and total darkness, a day of trumpet blast and battle cry against the fortified cities and against the high corner towers. I will bring distress on mankind, and they will walk like the blind because they have sinned against the Lord. Their blood will be poured out like dust, and their flesh like dung. Their silver and their gold will be unable to rescue them on the day of the Lord's wrath. The whole earth will be consumed by the fire of his jealousy, for he will make a complete, yes, a horrifying end of all the inhabitants of the earth.
Ow? Right? All right, let me ask you this question. This is what I want to look at. Tell me about the day of the Lord. What does this look like? What does it start? Don't jump. Try to start at the beginning. And we're going to be looking at maybe like the first, 2 or 3 verses here. The very beginning. Well, you tell me. What do you see? I want to jump in, but I got to slow up.
It says he's sweeping everything from the earth. Birds, animals, nothing will survive.
Okay, so does God do that? Is God going to do that?
No, because he promised with the flood he wouldn't do that. Well, I guess he said he wouldn't flood the earth again.
Right, but it's not. But that was total destruction, other than anything that was on the ark, right? But so you're right, and I agree with you. Like we don't have that. Did he ever do it? Well, the answer is no. Not everything was destroyed. So what is he trying to say? And what does that tell you about the day of the Lord as well?
It almost seems prophetic for what is to come, even for us, because it talks about he's preparing a sacrifice, which I could be getting this totally wrong. He says he's prepared a sacrifice, which seems to be Jesus, and then he is going to utterly destroy the earth, which is the end for everybody. So it seems prophetic for then and what is still to come.
A little bit, yeah. Chapter 3 is going to really be talking about the kingdom to come, so you can make that link. That's not bad at all. When he's talking about, I'm going to wipe everything off the face. Gone. What is he talking about?
Well, he's talking about the wicked, and he literally says the wicked will have only heaps of rubble.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm going to destroy this. He's not talking about everything's going to be gone, like he did, like going back to I think it's a great example of going back to the flood. He's not going to do this again because that never happened, right? All the animals weren't destroyed. All the birds have not been destroyed. But what he's trying to say is what? It's utter destruction. Everything is done.
He tried to prophesy the destruction of Jerusalem.
I think what's going on here, because of Manasseh, what's going to be happening when they go into Babylon? I think he's prophesying about Babylon, and it's going to be, yes, the destruction of Jerusalem in the future when Babylon does it. But I think he's showing, because of your unfaithfulness with Manasseh and what you did, and how we really don't let go, there's going to be repercussions. Even though he brings Manasseh back, like we said, and he tried to reestablish, there's still repercussions, and that should be another lesson to us. Even though we say, sorry, sometimes there's repercussions of the actions that you do, right? And I think that's going to be pushing towards that.
John, but isn't Babylon kind of a microcosm of God's overall wrath? I mean,
Sure.
It's to teach us a lesson of what, this is small compared to what the day of judgment is going to be.
Absolutely.
We have to understand what his wrath is.
Absolutely, and I'm actually going there because the day of the Lord, because we talked about this through our study, right? Because this is not the first prophet that's talked about what? The day of the Lord, right? He's talking about that nation, but he's also demonstrating what the future is going to be for us as well. And hold on, I need to turn this off. So when you're looking at this, I want you to see the day of the Lord is total destruction. Okay? Total destruction. I think there's did I get it right? Destruction? I don't know what that is. Total, absolute destruction. Is this supposed to be an R? I think it's supposed to be an R. Total destruction. All right? I want to show you something in just a second. Just stay with me. All right? So when you look at the first few verses, it's total destruction. Now, what do you see after that as well? What's another thing that you see? You pull words. The words in this passage describes what this is going to be. So what else do you get? Okay, not just punishment. I'm going to put a word on that. Who said that? That was good. Who said that?
Me.
Good job. I'm going to put fierce punishment. Is it either? I'm going to punishment, but I'm also going to put judgment here. I don't know why I put a D. I don't know why I'm using this marker.
John, could you also argue justice?
Yeah, we'll talk about that in a minute. I'm just so tired. No, I'm telling you. So when you look at verses 4 through 9, I want you to, can you pull out some words that kind of make you almost shudder? Anything in there? Those next couple of verses. Anguish? Good word. Another.
Eliminate.
Huh?
Eliminate.
Eliminate? Yeah.
Cut off.
Cut off? Man, that will hurt, right? Okay, good. Even when you look into the day of the Lord is near and you look at that, it was interesting to me when you were reading through those passages. He was talking about, God's coming through with a lamp. What's he talking about there? He's coming through with a lamp.
He's searching every nook and cranny.
Okay, what? Say it.
He's searching every nook and cranny.
Okay, searching every nook and cranny. Good. What's going to be judging?
He's shining a light on the darkness.
Okay, and that light's going to be judging, right? I'm coming in, I'm looking, and he goes, it's coming through this. Okay, so there's a lot of. I want you to know that this is a terrible day. Oh, this is a better look. A terrible day. Now, why am I writing all this? Well, who cares? What is Zephaniah trying to teach us? Teach us, not them. Teach us.
Can't hide anything.
Okay, can't hide anything. Good, good.
There's punishment for wickedness,
There's punishment for wickedness.
fear of the Lord.
Fear the Lord. Yeah, I should be writing some of those down, but I'm not. Fear, there is punishment. Anything else?
He starts this passage with, "Be silent in front of the Lord your God," or of the Lord, be silent before the Lord God. It's like, enough. I've had enough. I'm not dealing with it anymore. Your time has come. Time is up. I'm not hearing you anymore. I'm done.
Okay, good. That should scare us a little bit too when you hear that God is finished, right? Isaiah 59 kind of rings out there moment for me. My hand is not too short that I cannot save. My ear is not deaf that I cannot hear, but it is your what? Finished? It is your iniquities that have separated you from me, right? So it's our fault. Should that not put us into a little bit of a, like, it should, I'm not scared of this because I know that I'm trying to live for God, right? I try to be a man of God every single day. This is not the reason I try to be a man of God. I try to be a man of God because I understand the God of love, the God of peace, and what God has done for me. But this should be my motivation to do what? Seek and save the lost. Because that's where they're at. Right? If I know the information and what that day is going to be like for someone who does not have a relationship with God, should that not motivate me to go out there and talk to someone about Jesus Christ? That's not my motivation to be good. My motivation is because God has saved me. Do you hear the difference? I'm saved from so that sorry, I'm not going to steal your sermon again. My bad. I was doing it on purpose. Look at him shaking his head at me. Okay. But this is my motivation to talk to other people. All right, we gotta go to chapter 3. Hey, chapter 2, it's a little boring. Blah, blah, blah. Punish the north, south, east, and west. Okay? Everybody good? Not that hard. Not that hard. Everyone's going to get it? Not good. Okay? I think it's what? Philistines, right? That's every side water. No. West side, Ammon over here on the east side. Who's the top? Assyria. Who's the bottom? Ethiopia. All right? That's all he's doing. He's saying everybody's going to get it. All nations are going to be punished. Okay? Are we good? Chapter 2 was great. Now, chapter 3. This is more important. I want to get there, and I don't know how much time I've got. Man, I don't have time to read. Did you guys read it at all? One. Okay. We need to read it. And we need to read fast. We need to read fast. Okay? Someone read in a good voice, but a quick voice, first 8 verses really fast.
Woe to her who is rebellious and defiled the oppressing city. She listens to no voice. She accepts no correction. She does not trust in the Lord. She does not draw near to her God. Her officials within her are roaring lions. Her judges are evening wolves that leave nothing till the morning. Her prophets are fickle, treacherous men. Her priests profane what is holy. They do violence to the law. The Lord within her is righteous. He does no injustice. Every morning he shows forth his justice. Each dawn he does not fail, but the unjust knows no shame. I have cut off the nations. Their battlements are in ruins. I have laid waste to their streets, so that no one walks in them. Their cities have been made desolate without a man, without an inhabitant. I said, surely you will fear me. You will accept correction. Then your dwelling would not be cut off according to all that I have appointed against you. But all the more they were eager to make all their deeds corrupt. Therefore wait for me, declares the Lord. For the day when I rise up to seize the prey. For my decision is to gather the nations, to assemble kingdoms, to pour out upon them my indignation, all my burning anger, and the fire of my jealousy. All the earth shall be consumed.
Okay, good stuff. So the very beginning, first 4 verses that you find there is that he's contrasting what? He's contrasting the sins of the nation to his judgment. We talked about that earlier? Judgment or being just. Somebody mentioned that. Here's your judgment and just. He's not contrasting it to other nations. He's not looking at other things. He's saying, I am the righteous God, and I'm going to contrast what you're doing to who I am and what I wanted you to do by what I told you to do from his word. Okay, so Old Testament, we have it, right? So he contrasts the two, and we see that God, because the people have not followed his words, He is, I don't want to use the word allowed, maybe a different word, allowed to judge. He is what? Help me.
Entitled.
Huh?
Entitled.
Entitled? Okay, that's not bad. Yeah. Anybody else?
Well, he's given them over to the consequences of their sin.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's like you've done this, so therefore, I mean, he's comparing, like this, that goes back to this contrast, right? Like, here's who I am, this is what I wanted you to do, and this is what you've done, so therefore, there's punishment that's going to be involved. But what does he tell you? What did you hear in those 8 verses, though? There's something good in there, too. What was it?
The Lord will do no injustice.
Okay? He says, wait for me, right? Therefore, wait. He's talking to the remnant. He's talking to those. Not everyone is horrible, right? And so he's holding, he says, I want you to hold on. I'm going to read a few more verses here. Hopefully my dyslexia is good today. For at this time I will change the speech of all the peoples to a pure speech. You see this? Here's the conversion. And here's the conversion not of the people. This is really incredible. It's the conversion of the nations. You're going to see it's not just them, but it's everyone. Again, going back to what Dallas was saying earlier, looking forward as well. The speeches of the peoples with a pure speech, that all of them may call upon the name of the Lord and serve him with one accord. From beyond the rivers of Cush, my worshippers and daughters will, of my dispersed ones shall bring my offering. On that day you shall not be put to shame because of the deeds by which you have rebelled against me. For then I will remove them from your midst and proudly exalt ones. You shall have no longer be haughty in my holy mountain. But I will leave in your midst a people humble and lowly. I will seek, they shall seek refuge in the name of the Lord. Those who are left in Israel, they shall do no injustice and speak no lies, for they will be found in their mouth nor shall there be found in their mouth a deceitful tongue, for they shall graze and lie down, and none shall make them afraid. Is that not amazing? Okay, this actually happened to them as well. God is going to bring them out of Babylon, so they're going to taste a little bit of this, but this is messianic as well. He's looking to the future. Tell me about this incredible kingdom.
Expands the whole world.
Okay, it's going to expand the whole world. Pull stuff out of this. What did you see about the kingdom? Use the words here.
Holy hill.
Holy hill?
Change the speeches of the people to a pure speech.
Yes. Whatever comes out of your mouth, where does it start? Huh? Scripture. What is it? From your heart. So if you're changing the speech, like you're saying, it's because my heart's changed. Out of the heart, one speaks. Okay? And so it's an internal transformation. Give me something else. Come on, we got to go. We have 5 minutes.
Is it clearing out of the cancer? Verse 11, I will remove from your midst your proud exalting ones.
Yeah, we're taking out the evil. We're getting rid of that. And God is going to be replaced in their midst. And they're going to be worshiping him. Okay, come on, give me more.
We're serving with one accord.
Say it again.
Serving with one accord.
Oh, that's so good. That's coming from the sermon today. And it's talking about, man, we are one. We are united. That's that future kingdom is going to be. It's united. And we're going to be serving with one accord. I love it. The cord there is the spirit that's living within us. It's uniting us, so we have the same spirit. Therefore, if we have the same spirit, that's what connects us to do the same thing. Right? You'll see it today. Go ahead. Anybody else?
Does all of that help us in the waiting? I mean, doesn't that, because, I mean, we've been waiting.
Yeah.
Still waiting.
Yeah. I think I would say yes. Are you going with the yes on that? Is that a rhetorical?
I'm going with it.
Okay. Great. But I think it's absolutely yes, because I couldn't get through this without everyone, right? I couldn't get through without the kingdom. Okay, anything else that you see there?
A people humble and lowly.
Humble and lowly. Oh, you guys are killing me. This is all my sermon. Go ahead. Anything else?
Not afraid.
Not afraid. Are you tired of being afraid of this world and wondering, what's going to happen next? Who cares? If you're one with God and you have a relationship with God, what did Paul teach us last week in the sermon? Come on. To live, I'll have fruitful labor. But what? Worst case scenario, I die. What happens? I get Christ. I get to be the presence. Okay. What fear do you have of tomorrow? You know? I talk to my son about this all the time. Okay, anybody else? Anything else you see there?
It's widespread from beyond the rivers of Cush, my worshippers, the daughter of my dispersed ones shall bring my offering.
Yeah.
Cush that was far away foreign land. Far, far away.
Not for an airplane, but for them, yes. Yes.
For a camel.
Or a good donkey. Yes, you're right. It's very far away. Yes, love it.
For the remnant, they will eat and sleep,
Yeah,
and nothing will make them tremble.
I love it. They will lie down. You never lie down unless you're safe. Think of positions. Most people don't look at the Bible and look at the position of what the person is doing, right? We kind of skim that, like, blah, 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 blah. Okay. Look at the position of how your body is in worship or in prayer. You can find those positions. When you find laying down, you're I can't say the word, you're totally vulnerable. Nailed it that time. And so you have that, okay? You got to see that. And so I'm going to lay down, rest. Is there other passages that we find that kind of mentality? Huh? Psalm 23. Yeah, 100%. When you go into the end of 14 to the very end of the book here, we're talking about the joy of the restoration that they're going to have. Okay? I need to see if I can talk about any things. Oh, there was one thing that I saw in here and I absolutely love. You become the gods you love. Okay? The God that you worship is what you become. That's what I found in Zephaniah. If anything you want to hear, I want you to hear it again. You become the God you worship. All right? If you worship fear and anxiety and worry, that's what you're going to have. Right? If you worship, let me see what my notes say. If you want to be power hungry, you're going to become power hungry. If you worship the God of cruelty, you become cruel. Right? Am I wrong? Okay, but what if we worship the God of love? What do you become?
Love.
I become love. What if I worship the God of peace? I become peacekeeping. Right? I become a person of peace. If I worship the God of hope, that brings full of hope, what do you bring to people? Hope. What you worship, what God we worship. Lowercase g, hopefully it's large, uppercase g. Whatever God you worship is what you become. You have to. There's not a hope not or if. That's what you do become. Okay? All right. Hold on. I feel better now. All right, good. Anything else from Zephaniah? Next week we will do, how do you pronounce it? Nahum? That's the guy next week. Same time frame as Zephaniah. Comes right in behind him. Jeremiah is during this time as well. All right, anything else you want to add before we finish? That's the bell. Boom, nailed it this week. All right.